Hey everybody, welcome back. So a couple videos ago I had a subscriber ask me about a good stove to use in, say, a small apartment where outdoor cooking really isn't feasible. And this is the one I want to bring today to show you. This is the TRANGIA 27-3 UL. Alright, so aside from an awesome cook kit for being out in the woods or whatever, this is something I've wanted to pick up for a while, and it just perfectly fit in with somebody asking me that question. We had a subscriber ask me about a indoor safe stove. Alcohol is a really good fuel source for using indoors. Now that's denatured alcohol. Heat and all that other stuff, maybe not so much. But it's a really good fuel to use indoors. It doesn't produce a ton of toxins when burned. Now, any flame can produce carbon monoxide. So although alcohol is one of the safest fuels to burn indoors, you probably want to make sure you have some proper ventilation. A cracked window, an open door, whatever. Just enough to make sure you're not going to kill yourself with carbon monoxide. Also, too, can't hurt to have a nice carbon monoxide detector. So this stove, I'll give you a little information on it. This is the TRANGIA 27-3 UL, UL meaning ultralight. It's not super light. But if you're backpacking for a long time and you want to have something that you know is going to hold up to the elements, cook no matter what's going on outside, and take care of you, it's a pretty darn good stove. If you like simple, ultra-reliable things and like to eat no matter what the weather and don't mind a little extra weight, it's really not a bad idea. It's also perfect for a home stove, for a home emergency, power outage, whatever, because of the fact that it burns alcohol. It's a true classic. The kit consists of, let me open it up for you, an alcohol burner with simmering and storage caps, elaborate two-part stand. Pay attention to what I'm doing here. There we go. And the two-part stand is also a windscreen. It's got two decent lightweight plastic pots, metal pots, a non-stick frying pan, a pot gripper, thin plastic disc. This is why I'm concentrating on this. This disc here looks like packing. Don't throw it out. You want to keep it because it's going to keep anything from scratching the non-stick surface on this pan. So let's open it up and show you. Now you'll notice a yellow plastic bag in here. That's to keep your stove in. Let me move this out of the way so you can actually see everything. This is to keep your alcohol burner in. And I also keep the gripper handle in there too, so it doesn't scratch everything up and make a whole lot of noise. There's your alcohol stove, standard TRANGIA alcohol stove with the snuffer cap. And this is your pot gripper. Kind of works similar to that. So if it's on the fire there and you got to take it off, you put it on and take it off. So like I said, yeah, do not throw this piece out. I almost did myself, and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a reason for that. It's just too thick. All right, here are your bowls. Now, I did not look this up at the time of this video, okay? But there you see there's two little dots back there. And those little dots, I can't see, I see a number written on them. Looks like half liter, maybe, 1.03, 0.05. I'm sure that's in metric, liters, whatever, not cups. So you do have measurements on them. They are graduated. And that's kind of a neat feature. And these are the two bowls. One is ever so slightly bigger than the other, so it fits inside. And you see how it all nested down. So I'm going to put this together and show you how it all goes together. So before we get started cooking a meal on this thing, and I am going to cook kind of a strange combination today, but a meal, let's talk about the good and the possibly bad points of this stove. First of all, it's not going to scorch anything, all right? Because this sits up, this is your base. Let's get this out of here. That's just to lock it in place when you're carrying it. Because this sits up like that, and the burner in there, nothing underneath here is going to get scorched. Now it may get a little warm there. That's why I have this piece of wood. I don't want to do it on the plastic and get the plastic all bubbled up. You'll also notice this little hole here. That is the hole to accommodate the propane burner if you choose to put it in there. You'll simply feed the propane burner in, drop it in here, feed the hose through, and you can hook it up to an isobutane canister. Same deal. But I kind of like the fact that it's just a plain old alcohol stove, and that's how we'll be using it for our uses today. You can use this indoors, like I said before, in smaller apartments where cooking outside on some gas burner or roaring campfire isn't practical or feasible. It is windproof. There's your windscreen right there, and I'll show you how that snaps on there in a second. It's very efficient. It uses one of the more efficient alcohol stoves. It's hot enough for reasonable cook times, so it's a good compromise. This is a very, very good alcohol stove, to be honest with you. I've already fired it up once just to test it. The bloom time on it was ridiculously fast. You know, the time it goes from burning in the center to the jets. And it was easy to put out with the snuffer carrying, so all in all, definitely a good stove. This also comes with its own cook kit. So you got your 2 pots, you got your fry pan. You can get an optional tea kettle and cutting board if you want. So if you're buying this for, say, a bug-in location, or you're going to plan on bugging in your house, awesome item. You know, really, really good to use. Not going to poison you, as fast as say, burning a huge 2-burner Coleman stove on butte propane wood. So let me show you how to connect the 2 top here. The 2 tops, bottom and top. We're all over the place this morning. You'll see there's little bumps, okay? Those little bumps in there correspond to these notches. You're just going to place it in where those notches are. There we go. And turn. That's simple. That's it. For the pan, you're going to take these pot stands and put them up. For the bowls, you're going to place it down inside, and they will nest in there perfectly like that. So, let me give you a look at that. And we'll do the pan, just to show you. And that fits in there perfectly. That's not going anywhere. Another thing about this stove is it's extremely stable. It's very, very hard to tip this over. So in an indoor situation where there could be kids playing around, pets, whatever, it's very stable. You're not going to knock it over. You may move it around a bit, but you're not going to knock it over. You may knock the pan off, but you're not going to start a fire. So, that is the burner right there. And as you can tell, once you get that hooked on the rings there, it's in there good. So for our uses today, we're going to make some soup. And again, I'm going to do real simple, strange combination. We're going to do ramen soup. And I've got some hamburgers to cook. So I'm going to cook a burger and a ramen soup. And we're going to boil water first, because I want to put enough water in here to make myself some coffee. I have my coffee all set up here. If you haven't gotten one of these deals where you just put the coffee in and let it drip, it's in my store, trust me, they're worth it. This is your coffee maker. You don't have to carry a coffee pot. So we're going to do that first, then we're going to cook the burger. I'll let the soup kind of hold its own heat in, and we'll try it out. Now, some of the cons, all right? This thing is really heavy by modern standards. All this stuff together, it's about 1.6 pounds. So if you're using it as a home emergency stove, not a problem at all. It's way lighter and cheaper than, say, a dual burner Coleman stove. But if you get a backpack with it, it's kind of heavy. The pots don't have lids. You can use tin foil if you have to, but it's just something to think about. Also, only the TRANGIA pots that come with this kit can be used in here because of the fitting. Now, you may get lucky enough and find one of your other pots fit, or you may actually find one online that fits. But as a general rule, for the average person that's going to buy this and put it in their closet with a couple, quarts of denatured alcohol, that's what you're going to be using. So, you may want to spend a lot of time looking for other kits, other dishes and pans and stuff, pots and pans, but that's what it comes with and that's how it works. So, pretty much it's a great stove if you like simple, ultra-reliable things you want to eat no matter what the weather is, and you're looking for a safer indoor alternative to propane stoves. So let's get it fired up, and I'll show you how everything works. Now, before we start, I want to show you the fuel I'm using. You can buy this at Home Depot. Walmart used to carry it. They don't anymore. At least not in my Walmart, but Home Depot definitely has it. They're about $7. Not too bad. What I did was I put it in a little Swedish container. I got this with another TRANGIA burner, just the burner itself, and this came with it. So it's kind of nice that it's, correct as far as the country of origin. And you're going to work it like this. You're going to take your simmer ring off, and you can set that up ahead of time. If you know you're going to be simmering. Like I know when I'm doing the burger later, I don't want it to be full bore heat, so maybe I'll do it like that. You got your top here, and your top now has a bunch of warnings on it. Let's see. Warning, alcohol only. You don't use gasoline. Okay, so there's your stove. And that's it right there. So you're going to fill this first. And I'm going to fill this up pretty good because we are going to be cooking a few things on it. And I found this works much better than trying to pour it from that big can of denatured alcohol. So get yourself a little something to carry your fuel in. Even if you're just doing this at home, get yourself a bottle or something that you can pour easily. Again, this doesn't. The nice part about this fuel is it's not explosive, but it does burn very quickly. So you just want to be extra careful with it. We're going to put that up there. I'm going to make sure I wipe everywhere that I put the alcohol. And I'm just going to light it. Now, another thing with denatured alcohol is you don't really see the flames. Guarantee it's going to light, but even though my lighter stinks. There we go. It's almost out of fuel there. But yeah, it's lit right now, I can tell you. So let's kill the light real quick here. And you can see I spilled a little fuel on the side, so it's, you know, it did its thing over there, burned a little. I want to see how quickly it blooms. If this doesn't go quickly, I'll edit this out so you don't have to sit here for an hour waiting for it to bloom. But there it goes. Did you see that? That quick. That's why I love these original TRANGIA stoves. They're just awesome. So, again, once the light's on, you're not going to see that. So we're going to put this inside first, because we're going to be putting a pot in there. And we're going to put this on. Just be careful. There we go. That's on there good. Let's fill up the pot with water. Now I want enough water to cook my one ramen soup plus my coffee. So I'm going to fill this up pretty good. And I'm not going to time this because I know it's going to take forever with that much water in it. But, you know, it's going to be a while. But let's put it on. When it's like this, you can probably, put it right in there, no problem. And bring you back when that's boiling. We'll make the coffee and we'll put the soup in. And we'll go from there. And no, it's not burning that quickly. Boiling that quickly. Another trick I just kind of thought of is if you don't have a lid for this, you can just take your pan and put it there. So that'll help it boil a little quicker. Anyway, bring you back in a few. Alright, so I can kind of hear it getting ready. And again, I don't like my coffee scorching hot. So what I'm going to do is pull off this lid. And it is bubbling. It's right at the point where it's going to start a rolling boil. I'm going to pull off that lid. And I'm going to use this for my coffee first. Let's see how well these pot holders hold up. Uh-oh. There we go. Made a little mess getting used to it, but it's cool. That thing's still going, got lots of fuel left. Another important tip is if you think it's running low on fuel, do not add fuel while it's burning. It'll go into whatever you're adding fuel to and start a nice little fire, possibly a little pop and explosion. So you don't want to do that. So we're waiting for that to go down. See how that works? It's a real neat system. So once that's done, I'll bring you back. We'll put the soup in. Alright, so I got this all done. I'll let that drain out. Now we're going to put the soup in. I did have to add a little bit of water. I kind of underestimated how big this cup is. You probably won't need a cup that big for your own use. Maybe you like coffee, maybe not. But I did have to add a little water. But that's okay, because I'm going to cook the ramen in there. And normally what I do when I cook ramen is I just take cold water, put it in, take the ramen, and put it in right behind it. So that'll fit a ramen in there no problem. And there's your spice pack. And we're going to cover that up, and I'll bring you back when that's going. Alright, so I guess we can say the soup's done. It's definitely going pretty good. By the way, the name of this thing, the coffee thing I made, I went in to check it. It's a Primula Brew Buddy. They're in my store. I think they're $6 each or $11 if you buy the cup they fit in. But they fit in almost any cup, so definitely a cool little thing to have and to carry instead of lugging around a something to make coffee if you're going ultralight. Let's get that off there. Mix that up a bit. That should be good. Okay. So that's pretty much done. Soup's ready. Now we're going to do the burger. I got to put these up. Now, when you're doing this after the fact, do not reach in and push these up. Take something like I'm doing and push them up by hand. I see people getting burned. I do have a little bit of butter here. I'm going to put a little butter in there. And I'm going to put my burger in, which is over here. And once that's done, we will bring you back again to show you. So you can see you could do a pretty full meal on here without much hassle. Really, really well. And again, too, if I want to cover that, because this is going to cook quickly because there's no on or off here. I'd have to put the simmering on if I wanted to slow it down a little bit. If I want to cover that, I could easily put that over it to cover it. I am going to put the simmering on a little bit, though, to keep it from going too nuts. But the reason I do the soup first too is because the soup will hold its heat longer because of the liquid in it, and that will go cold if I wait to do the soup. And it's kind of cold out here. I think it's about 58 degrees. So we'll definitely do that next, and I'll bring you back when it's all finished up. All right, it's zipping right along there. I had the simmering on. I took it off because I'm going to be putting the cheese on. And again, I had this on top of it. I'm going to use this to melt the cheese. It does get warm. And we're going to pull that off and just kind of let it melt the cheese on its own. Now here's another cool part about this, right? This is going full blast here. It's been going all this time. I can pick it up from the bottom here and it's not even hot. So we're going to put that over here. Let that cheese melt, because that's more than done. And we're going to take our cap to snuff it out. And just snuff it out. There you go. So stove's taken care of. Let's see what we got here. Do not lift that up with your bare hands there. There we go. All right. So you got yourself a quick and easy meal here. Not necessarily things that go together, but hey, ramen soup and a burger. There you go. And all from that little TRANGIA stove. So looks like I'm going to have some lunch and enjoy the fruits of my labor here. And that would be my suggestion. If you're going to set up something like this in your house, make sure you do have a little bit of ventilation, but it's definitely a really cool stove. And if you're going car camping or maybe at a bug out location, or you're setting this up somewhere permanently, definitely a cool item to have. Even taking it with you in a backpack. It's only 1.6 pounds. It's not the end of the world, you know. And it's pretty self-contained. You figure with the fuel, maybe 2.5 pounds at the most. Now, if you're going to be hiking long distance, of course you're not going to take something like that. But if you're just going out to the woods to eat, have a good time. So that is the TRANGIA 27.3 Ultralight alcohol stove and pot set. This does come in a bunch of different models. There's a 27, which is a little bigger. There's a mini, which is basically just a small little holder for the alcohol stove. All in all, there's so many different options. You really have tons to choose from. So I'm going to eat some lunch. I will put a link down below where you can pick this up. I believe they run in the $60-something range. I didn't put a price out here and I forgot. So I will put it down below though with the link. So, you know, they're not overly expensive. They're not super expensive for something that's pretty much a classic. And it is made in Sweden. You know, this is non-Chinese stuff here. This is all made in Sweden. And I hope you enjoyed the video. So don't forget to check out that link if you're interested in picking this up. Really good option for an apartment prepper that doesn't have a chance to, you know, run outside and build a bonfire to cook, or doesn't feel safe with propane and storage and all that. You get a couple quarts of this stuff, you get one of those, you're good to go. Yeah, you can even buy two and have a 2-burner system going on here. So I thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out our Amazon link down below. If you don't find anything in the store you like, just click the link, shop as you normally would. Really helps out our channel a whole lot. Don't forget to check out our Thrive Life link if you're interested in getting set up with some freeze-dried foods. I have a homemade MRE that I'm working on with some freeze-dried and some store-bought stuff. So I'm going to be showing you that really soon. We might even cook it on this stove here. I am going to be using this more in videos because I really like it. I think it's a really cool system. And don't forget to check out our Olight link down below. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.